Hey, I've got a question for you. Do you ever wonder, how do I live a godly life in such an ungodly world? Or how do I represent Jesus in my classroom or at my university or in my workplace or in my family when there are other people who don't believe in God or believe in the Bible? How do I live for God? Well, the book of Daniel is a really inspiring model of someone who lived for God in a godless culture. This godless culture was the historic city of Babylon. And God's people, because of their own sin and consequences, had been taken captive, and many of them had been deported from Jerusalem to Babylon, a foreign culture, a foreign city. Within that, God still had a plan to redeem his people. And God had his eyes on a young man named Daniel, who was a man after God's own heart in a very corrupt and evil society. Daniel is a book that's full of God's faithfulness to a faithful person. Maybe you've heard the story of Daniel in the lion's den. When Daniel gets thrown into a den of lions, here's what's remarkable about it. Daniel had lived such a Christ-like life. This is before Christ came to earth, but this was a Christ-like life where he served others. He always did what was right, even when some evil people said, hey, if you keep praying to your God, we will throw you in this den of lions who will eat you. And Daniel said, well, I'm going to keep praying to my God. Now, the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, actually really liked Daniel, but he had signed this decree. Anyone who still prays to another god has to go in the den. This had all been a plot by some of Daniel's enemies. Let me remind you, if you feel like you have enemies plotting against you, or enemies of your church or your Christian group, God is over everything. He will preserve you. He will protect you so that his will is done. And I want to just read you this little bit when Nebuchadnezzar actually runs down the next morning to the lion's den to see if Daniel, what's left of him from these lions. Very early the next morning, this is Daniel 6:19, the king got up and hurried out to the lion's den. When he got there, he called out in anguish, Daniel, servant of the living God, was your God, whom you serve faithfully, able to rescue you from the lions? Daniel answered, long live the king. My God sent his angel to shut the lions' mouths so that they would not hurt me. For I have been found innocent in God's sight, and I have not wronged you, your majesty. The king was overjoyed, and the story goes on. Beautiful story of God's deliverance. A great model in Daniel, as well as Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, three of his friends, following God in a godless culture. It's possible through the power of Christ. Keep living for him today. I'll see you tomorrow.